They say that in every dazzling spotlight, there hides a quiet heartbeat of longing. Love, in the entertainment world, is often whispered about more than it is spoken aloud. But today, we're not here for rumours or fleeting headlines. We're here to step into a story of artistry, friendship, and perhaps even the kind of quiet romance that makes hearts skip a beat. Picture two rising stars of Chinese cinema, Zhao Qing, whose elegance seems to bring ancient poetry to life, and XuLisha, whose radiant energy shines across both historical epics and modern dramas. Both women are not just actresses, they are storytellers who have carved unique paths through the unpredictable waves of fame. They also happen to be connected to one of China's most beloved actors, XuKai, a friendship that has often drawn curiosity, admiration, and even speculation. In this video, we'll explore their journeys, compare their acting styles, and celebrate what makes each of them stand out. Along the way, we'll uncover how their stories intertwine and why fans can't seem to stop talking about them. Stay with me until the end, because the insights we're about to share may just change the way you see these two bright stars. And before we begin, may today bring you joy, warmth, and a little spark of inspiration. Part 2. The early journeys of Zhao Qing and XuLisha. When we talk about the new generation of Chinese actresses, it's almost impossible not to mention Zhao Qing and XuLisha. Both are young, both are talented, and interestingly, both share a subtle connection through actor XuKai, who has often been described as a bridge in their circle of friendship. But beyond that, their careers shine in two very distinct ways, offering fans plenty of material to admire, compare, and even debate about late into the night. Let's begin with Zhao Qing, a name that entered the public's radar not through the traditional acting schools, but through the world of hanfu modelling. Back then, she was lovingly nicknamed Peach Kernel of the Whole Vein by online communities, thanks to her delicate and classical beauty that seemed as if it had stepped straight out of an ancient painting. For many, she was not just a model, but a living embodiment of elegance, a muse who brought hanfu culture to life. Yet, Zhao Qing was not content to simply remain a face admired in still pictures. She craved the movement, the emotions, the storytelling that only acting could bring. And so, in 2021, she made her bold transition with the lead role in One Secretary, Moonlit Wind. That decision marked the beginning of a whole new chapter. Almost instantly, Zhao Qing proved that she wasn't just a pretty face. She signed with Huanyu Film and Television, one of the industry's most dynamic production houses, and within just a short period, she began climbing the ranks of recognition. Fans noticed her natural way of slipping into roles, whether playing a gentle heroine in historical costume dramas or embodying tender vulnerability in modern settings. Her ascent was fast, but it didn't feel forced. Instead, it looked like the natural evolution of someone who was simply meant to shine on screen. Now, let's turn to XuLisha, whose beginning couldn't have been more different. Lisha's very first screen appearance in 2020 was a bold move. She took on the role of a goddess-like figure in the fantasy historical drama Hu Yi's Battle to Chase the Sun. Imagine the courage of a newcomer stepping into such a mythical and demanding role. While others might have been swallowed up by the heavy costumes and epic settings, XuLisha stood tall. She impressed not only with her radiant looks, but with the way she gave depth to a character that could have easily been one-dimensional. But what makes XuLisha particularly fascinating is her adventurous spirit in role selection. She never allowed herself to be boxed into one genre. After her grand fantasy debut, she moved across genres with remarkable ease, taking on action-packed projects, then shifting gears into romantic comedies, and even lending her charisma to light-hearted television series. In each setting, she displayed a flexibility that made directors sit up and take notice. For audiences, it was a treat. One moment, she was the untouchable celestial saint. The next, she was a relatable, funny girl next door. And here's where their paths, though different, invite comparison. Zhao Qing built her foundation on the serene and graceful, Her charm lies in the way she carries ancient beauty into every role, like a brushstroke across a timeless canvas. XuLisha, on the other hand, thrives in her unpredictability. She thrives on variety, constantly surprising viewers with fresh transformations. Watching Zhao Qing is like sipping a fine cup of jasmine tea, soothing, elegant, and deeply comforting. Watching XuLisha is like tasting sparkling champagne, effervescent, lively, and always leaving you curious for the next sip. It's important to remember, though, that these comparisons don't diminish either of them. In fact, they highlight why fans are so drawn to this unspoken rivalry. It's not about competition in the toxic sense. Instead, it's a celebration of contrast. Zhao Qing appeals to the romantics, those who adore the whisper of silk sleeves and the melancholy of ancient melodies. XuLisha excites the adventurous, the ones who crave laughter, intensity, and the thrill of unexpected twists. At this stage of their careers, both actresses are still writing the opening chapters of what could become truly legendary stories. Yet already, the seeds of greatness are visible. Zhao Qing's career choices show determination to solidify herself as a pillar of costume dramas while branching into contemporary films. XuLisha's boldness shows she is unafraid to break molds and redefine what a young actress can be. For viewers, this is an absolute joy. It means we don't just get one flavor, one shade of performance. We get two parallel journeys unfolding before our eyes. Journeys that remind us how vibrant, diverse, and promising the Chinese entertainment industry is becoming. And perhaps that's the real beauty of it. Not in deciding who is better, but in appreciating how both contribute uniquely to the evolving picture of stardom. Part 3. The Art of Acting, Zhao Qing versus XuLisha. If Part 2 was about where they came from, Part 3 is about how they express themselves once the cameras start rolling. And this, dear viewers, is where Zhao Qing and XuLisha truly reveal their individuality. After all, in entertainment, you can have the same stage, the same script, and even the same director. But the way an actor breathes life into a character makes all the difference. Let's start with Zhao Qing. When people describe her acting, words like serenity, poise, and timeless grace often surface. She carries an aura that reminds audiences of ink paintings, soft brush strokes, subtle shades, and yet an undeniable depth. In historical dramas, she does not simply wear the costume. She seems to become the character. Watching her in roles like Mu Yao in Because the Fragrance Drifts or C2 Juyue in Clouds in the Mist is like watching a flowing melody. Her strength lies in stillness. She doesn't need exaggerated gestures or loud expressions. A single look of hesitation in her eyes, a fleeting smile, or even a quiet pause. These are enough to move the audience. Zhao Qing is, in many ways, the embodiment of the classical heroine. Now, contrast that with XuLisha. If Zhao Qing is the calm river, XuLisha is the sparkling firework. Her performances burst with energy, versatility, and boldness. From the ethereal saintly figure in Hou Yi and the Battle of the Sun, to the playful yet resilient Li Chun in Love Like the Galaxy, she adapts herself with astonishing fluidity. XuLisha has an instinct for timing, whether it's comedic beats in a light-hearted scene, or the intensity of a life-or-death confrontation. She thrives in movement, in dynamism, and in transformation. It's as if she treats each role like a fresh adventure, and she's unafraid to take risks. And here lies the charm of comparing these two actresses. Zhao Qing draws us in by inviting us to linger in her world, while XuLisha excites us by pulling us into her ever-changing universe. They don't compete with one another. Instead, they complement one another, like moonlight and starlight, each beautiful in its own right, yet even more dazzling when they shine together in the same sky. For audiences, this duality is a gift. In Zhao Qing, fans find comfort, a sense of nostalgia for elegance and refinement. She is the actress who can make viewers feel as if they've stepped into a painting of ancient China, with every detail crafted to perfection. In XuLisha, fans find adventure, a reminder that acting can be fearless and modern even within traditional frameworks. She is the actress who makes us sit at the edge of our seats, wondering, what will she do next? What's remarkable is that both women also bring a sense of authenticity to their work. Despite their differences in style, neither appears to be acting in the artificial sense. Zhao Qing's strength is subtle realism, her ability to make even the most melodramatic scenario feel relatable. XuLisha's strength is emotional honesty, her willingness to expose vulnerability, humour, or rage in ways that resonate directly with the audience. And that's why they've built loyal fan bases so quickly. Fans don't just watch Zhao Qing for her characters. They watch to feel a sense of calm, of beauty restored in a chaotic world. They don't just cheer for XuLisha because she's talented. They root for her because she embodies courage, youthfulness, and bold experimentation. As entertainment journalists, we often compare rising stars, and sometimes the comparisons can be unfair or even divisive. But in the case of Zhao Qing and XuLisha, the comparison becomes a celebration. They remind us that Chinese entertainment is not limited to one formula, one archetype, or one kind of beauty. Instead, it thrives on diversity. And together, they expand the spectrum of what audiences can expect from young actresses. So as we close this section, let me pose a question to you, the viewers. When you watch a drama, do you prefer to be enveloped in a dreamlike elegance, or do you crave the thrill of unpredictability? Perhaps the answer is, like many fans, you want both. And lucky for us, Zhao Qing and XuLisha are here to deliver exactly that. Part 4. A journey beyond comparison. The meaning of friendship and individual brilliance. In the entertainment industry, comparisons are inevitable. Audiences, media, and sometimes even producers enjoy setting actors against each other as though careers were races and success were trophies to be claimed. Yet when we pause and truly examine the stories of Zhao Qing and XuLisha, we realize that their journeys are not about competing for the same spotlight, but about carrying their own torches to illuminate different corners of the stage. This perspective becomes even clearer when we acknowledge not only their individual achievements, but also the way their friendship and shared network of colleagues, such as XuKai, serve as bridges rather than barriers. Zhao Qing's artistry leans toward a timeless gentleness, an elegance that feels like stepping into a painting from another century. Her portrayals, especially in historical dramas, bring forward an emotional sincerity that draws audiences closer, almost as if they were sitting in front of her in a quiet tea house rather than watching through a screen. XuLisha, by contrast, thrives on versatility. She adapts effortlessly, infusing vitality into every role, whether it's a courageous saint, a cheerful modern woman, or a sharp-witted heroine. When placed side by side, their differences are not meant to cancel each other out. They create harmony, offering the audience two different flavors of performance, both worth savoring. What makes this narrative even more captivating is the undercurrent of positivity surrounding both actresses. Unlike some industry tales filled with rivalry or scandal, Zhao Qing and XuLisha represent a fresher, more hopeful side of the entertainment world, where young artists choose to build rather than to tear down, where they encourage each other's projects rather than chase headlines. Their paths illustrate that the entertainment industry is not a zero-sum game. The rise of one does not require the fall of the other. Instead, each success story adds another melody to the symphony of Chinese cinema and television. Looking forward, both actresses are entering a defining phase in their careers. Zhao Qing, with her upcoming forays into both period and modern projects, is expected to expand her repertoire beyond the sweet and gentle roles that audiences adore. Fans are particularly excited about her rumoured collaboration in a contemporary urban drama, where her ability to blend classical grace with modern sensibilities could bring something entirely new to the screen. XuLisha, on the other hand, is stepping into projects with greater scale and ambition, including fantasy blockbusters and ensemble television series that require not just talent, but also resilience and adaptability. These opportunities suggest she will continue surprising audiences with performances that stretch beyond expectations. What ties these two stories together is not competition, but inspiration. Their journeys remind us, as viewers, that entertainment is not just about who shines brighter, but about how many lights can brighten the sky. When Zhao Qing secures an award, it uplifts the collective image of young actresses in China. When XuLisha delivers a performance that captures both humor and pathos, it proves to the industry that depth and versatility are still rewarded. Both outcomes feed into a larger narrative, that this new generation of artists carries the potential to redefine standards and push boundaries without losing their individuality. And perhaps the most beautiful takeaway here is the reminder that friendship and professional respect can coexist within an industry often painted as cutthroat. Zhao Qing and XuLisha's connection to XuKai and indirectly to each other shows that relationships in entertainment can be built on encouragement and collaboration rather than rivalry. This subtle but powerful message resonates with fans who yearn to see not just the on-screen chemistry of their favourite stars, but also the genuine warmth of their off-screen humanity. In conclusion, Zhao Qing and XuLisha stories highlight the importance of appreciating diversity in talent, embracing individuality, and celebrating the success of others. Their careers are not about outshining one another, but about contributing uniquely to a shared artistic legacy. And as audiences, we are fortunate enough to witness both journeys unfold, two parallel stories filled with promise, growth, and undeniable charm. So, as you finish this video, here's a thought to carry with you. In a world that constantly urges us to compare, why not choose instead to celebrate? Just as Zhao Qing and XuLisha continue to carve their unique places in the spotlight, we too can learn to value the different lights that brighten our own lives. After all, it is not about who wins the race, but about how beautiful the journey becomes when walked with authenticity, grace, and joy.